What's going on, everybody? You know who it is. It's your boy the Dry Nude here, and I wanted to show you something real quick when it comes to building your loadouts on mouse and keyboard when you're playing Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Now this right here is pretty much the standard Vaznev setup, and I want to go into the firing range, and I'm just going to show you something that it's going to kind of blow your mind. When you ADS, first of all, you have your thumb there, which is really annoying, but look how much this weapon sways, man. Like, it is swaying so much. Like, if I move here around the head and then it's going all around, it's going to make it really difficult to try to maintain and keep stay on target. Like right there, it's really hard to beam people. Okay, so I'm going to show you something that you can apply to all classes that are going to make these guns absolutely crazy and really good on mouse and keyboard, and you're going to be beaming people. So all you're going to want to do, and we're going to start from scratch here, we have a damage range barrel, a hip fire, and a bullet velocity. That's good, but we want something with a little bit more recoil control. Don't worry about the aim down sight speed, we'll get to that later. But we have this right here. This barrel is going to work out because we got recoil control, bullet velocity. Those are our two main things that we want, and we got a damage range and plus hip fire accuracy. Okay, we're going to put that barrel on. Now if you notice, I have this laser on, aim down sight speed. Perfect, we want that, right? And then for the stock, we're looking at the stock. Okay, aim down sight, aim walking speed, and sprint to fire speed. But you guys see that little negative to stability right there? Anything that has a negative to stability, you do not want on your gun. On controller, you can get away with it, but on mouse and keyboard, it's really bad. So I highly suggest you switching over to something like this. Aim walking speed, recoil control, that's a negative, but we get aiming stability, crouch movement speed, aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed. A really good option. But this one right here wouldn't be really good because it's negative to aiming stability. This one will also be another good option, and all these will be aiming stability plus. Those are good options, but we want, it's a SMG, so we want aim down sight speed. We're gonna put that on. Okay, true tack grip. Let's see what we got here. Recoil control, aim down sight speed. Awesome. And then we don't really need this right here. We can put a grip on just to get rid of our thumb, and we can use the F-tack ripper, which is also a really good one because it adds recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability, and that's something that we kind of want on our gun. Now we can kind of tune it. Anything with aiming idle stability, you want to max that bad boy out, and then we can go down for aim down sight speed. Okay, and same thing with here. We got aiming out of stability, we want to max that out and then go down to our aim down sight speed. And then for here, damage range, you don't get that much, so we're just going to go aim down sight speed and then aim walking speed because this is a SMG. And then on our laser, there's two things you can do here. We already have a bunch of aiming idle stability, so it's up to you guys what you want. Sprint to fire speed, cool, but if we max this out, we are now having this gun will not move. Okay, now I'm going to go into the firing range. I'm going to show you this weapon and what it's like. First of all, our thumb's not there, and look how steady this is. Look how steady that is. It's barely moving, bro. Pretty good ADS time. It's barely moving. Barely moving. Look at that. Barely moving. And that's going to help out when it comes to controlling your recoil. Look at this. It's just an absolute laser beam. You're on mouse and keyboard, it's not too hard to control the recoil. Absolute laser beam. Now you can do this with your guns too. Let me back out here. Another gun that we can use, and I'm gonna use this for the M4. Everybody loves the M4. I want to go in here. I'm gonna use K-Bam M4 class. Let's just try this one out. Okay, let's go to the firing range and see how it is. Let's go here. Now let's look how. All right, you see how it's moving? Look how much this is moving. Okay, it's moving a lot around. Let's go here. You guys see how much that's moving? It's going to be really hard to line up a shot. And now let's look at the recoil. We could still control it, but it's still like not that good. See how much is bouncing off? And the reason why we want to have a really good aiming stability is because we want to have our first shot almost like repeatable all the time. Because once you're swaying like that, your first bullet is going to add random recoil basically to your weapon. So what we're going to do here, we have the M4 carbine. What does that add? We have aim down sight speed, we got bullet velocity. That's okay, but we can also use a high tower barrel. Really good barrel. Second thread, what does that do? Let's see. Oh, aiming stability. We don't want a negative to aiming stability, and unfortunately all of these sights, or all of these barrels, not barrels but the muzzles, okay, all the muzzles pretty much have a negative to aiming stability no matter which one you do. That's why I really don't run barrels or muzzles, but you can run a suppression if you want a suppressor if you want to use one, and you can use this one, recoil smoothness, sound suppression, get you off the radar. But aiming stability, all these ones have negative to aiming stability, which is really unfortunate besides this one. Okay, so we're going to remove that. Underbarrel, Tiger Threat, F-Tac Ripper. Really good recoil stabilization, aiming idle stability. Really good to have. What's on our stock? Well, we have, oh, look at this, aiming stability. We do not want that on our stock, so we're going to opt for something else. Aiming recoil, aiming, nope, not this one. So pretty much the only stock that we can run is this one right here, which is going to be a good one, and we're going to max it out for aiming idle stability. We're going to go aim down sight speed. And then for our laser, I don't want to use a visible laser, but you can use this one. I'm going to switch to this one, and we're going to max aim idle stability, sprint to fire speed. And then for our barrel, aim down sight speed, we can go recoil steadiness or walking speed. I like to personally go recoil steadiness. For our ripper, aiming idle stability, and then aim down sight speed, boom. And then we have our 45 round mag. Now let's go to the firing range and test it out and see how much it moves. Remember how much it moved in the beginning? Now let's test this out. It barely moves. Look at that. Let me get right on there. It barely moves. Barely. Like, this is like manageable. Let's get right here. Boom. It still sways a little bit, but not as much as before. And then let's control this recoil. And pretty much all you have to do is control the recoil. So if we go up, this recoil goes up and to the left. Now I want you to pay attention to something here also. When I'm shooting, look where my center of my screen is, where the red dot or the laser sight is. That's the center of my screen. It's not moving. It's not moving. So that's going to help out with your recoil control. That's going to help out with actually perceiving and shooting your targets. And that, you could pretty much do this with whatever class setup, guys. Just remember, aiming idle stability, you want that maxed out on your weapons when it comes to like tunings, and then you want to have nothing that has a negative aiming idle stability. So the F-Tac Ripper is a really good choice. It really helps out with the aiming idle stability and that recoil stabilization. All these other ones kind of help out too, but I like the negatives on the F-Tac Ripper. We can use the F-Tac Grip if we wanted to, and pretty much just you want to grip on your gun, okay, if you don't have the F-Tac Ripper, and you can max it out for aiming idle stability. Now say that I wanted to run a sight, right? We can run a sight on this one, remove the laser, and we can go far, and we can go aim down sight speed, and it's pretty much going to have almost the same weapon sway, and it's actually a little more steady. Look at this. You see how much is moving? It's barely moving at all. I'm gonna put it right on the head right there. Boom. The center dot's still in the middle of the screen, and it's kind of moving a little bit here. You can see it more drastically, but this is kind of what it looks like. I'm not controlling it. It's just swaying on its own, and that's going to be really easy to line up and to hit those headshots. You're always going to hit the headshots. And it's always really nice, because as before, it was really hard to hit the headshots because your weapon was swaying so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comment section below if you learned something, and hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, remember, stay blessed and stay humble, and I'll catch you in another video. Peace.